Hello, welcome back to my channel. I know I've been missing for months now. I think for 4 months, but we just had our sweet little Olivia Haydee. She is 9 days old today, and I wanted to introduce her to you guys and share a little bit about her birth and a little bit about her name, why we chose the name Olivia Haydee. Right? We talk about you. Everything's about you right now, isn't it? Yes, it is. We love you so much. We are just so in love with her. We seriously spend most of the day staring at her, cuddling her, fighting over who gets to hold her. She has all these brothers that want to hold her and kiss her all day. And I'm just glad that I'm the only one with the milk, because then I get to be the one to have the trump card and say, okay, mommy gets to hold her now. She was born on November 18th at 6:43 p.m. So her birth was unlike any of the last 8 births that we've had. Our first born, Julia, was born in the afternoon at 4-something p.m. But all the rest of our boys have gone into labor either in the middle of the night or about 11 p.m. at night, and I have them either in the middle of the night or very early in the morning. And that's what I expected to happen this time with her. I expected to maybe have some pre-labor contractions going on during the day, which is what I've had happen before. Sometimes that, goes on for a couple of days where I have contractions that are farther apart, and then they pick up at night and I have the baby. But that is not the case with her. So we have had a really busy season. We are just about to close on our house. Literally in a couple of days, we're gonna sell our home that we moved out of and moved into this new home. And my husband has been working around the clock with our older kids to finish up all of the last things that needed to be done before the house sold. And there was like a small list of a few things that needed to get done before there was going to be a final walkthrough. And so on the 18th, that day, he was up at the house. Oh, are we gonna cry? Finishing up those last things. And I think my body was literally like, I need to have this baby, and we are holding out as long as we can. And so I woke up and I actually had, sorry, little TMI here, but I had some bloody show, which I've never had before either. At about 8 a.m. I noticed that I had a little bloody show. So I called my midwife and just let her know that, which can mean labor is coming soon or not. It really doesn't guarantee that, you're gonna have that baby that day. But my midwife did tell me about 50% of women have a baby within 24 hours of having bloody show. So I thought, we better take this seriously, and I didn't want my husband to just be hanging around the house waiting for me to go into more official labor while there was all these things he was waiting to get done to wrap up on the house. So I said, just go. You're only 30 minutes away. I'll call you if things pick up speed. And then I proceeded to spend the rest of the day trying to not encourage my labor. So with this being our 9th baby, I have a lot of experience. Oh, we're gonna cry. I have a lot of experience with how my body works. Just a minute, I'm gonna grab her Passy. Anyway, I ended up doing everything that I could to just keep my labor from progressing too fast. I have had some pretty quick births, and I've had some longer, slower, I guess more quiet births as well. And so I just spent the day literally kind of moving from chair to couch, leaning back, and just kind of not trying to put any extra pressure on my body, which usually picks up labor. Anytime I would get up and walk around, my contractions would start to come closer together, because at this point they were only about 15 to 20 minutes apart. They were pretty far apart at that point. I just spent the day doing a little bit of school with the kids and putzing around, made some dinner. By the time it was about 3:30 in the afternoon, I called my husband and said, just gave him the update and was like, when I stand up or do, you know, anything that I know will bring on more contractions, they certainly start coming a little bit closer together, and they're starting to get a little bit more intense by that point. And so I just said, are you wrapping it up? Because I really think you need to come home soon. And he said, yeah, he had actually finished everything. He was just wrapping up and ready to head home. And so at about 4:30, he was on his way home, and I called the midwife and gave her the update. And by that point, now that I knew my husband was on his way home, I was like up and around a little bit more. I was actually at this point that I was making dinners and getting those things ready. I changed the bed out to prep it for labor, and kind of did everything that I knew that needed to happen if I was going to be going into labor that night and having the baby. So as I'm walking around and I'm doing those things, kind of changed into the outfit that I wanted to be in that was more comfortable for laboring in, my contractions were definitely picking up and getting closer together. And by the time my husband got here at around 5 and the midwife showed up shortly after, they'd really gotten more intense, and they were about 5 to 10 minutes apart. And up to this point, the kids were so good. We were just able to kind of go through our normal day. And then later in the afternoon, when my contractions were kind of increasing in intensity and closer together, it was nap time. So my little 3-year-old was at nap, and the other kids were just working on some quiet school and were just really chilling. And then I ended up putting a movie on for them. And so they were just really quiet watching a movie by the time my husband got home. So I labored through some more difficult contractions with him after he got showered and cleaned up, and my midwife kind of was getting things set up. And then my older kids went ahead and finished prepping and making dinner, and took that down to the little kids that were watching a movie, and they ate dinner together downstairs because there's like a table set up in our schoolroom down there. And they ate dinner down there together, and the contractions were really starting to come closer together and get more intense. And so I was with Nick during those contractions, and then my midwife was finally able to check me, and she was like, you're almost at an 8. And I know my body can go from like a 7 or an 8 to a 10 in one contraction. So I was like, well, we're definitely at the finish line now, right during the dinner hour. And we're kind of like, we're gonna keep all the kids home, I guess, because the thought of packing everybody up and trying to like get them hustled off to my parents or my sisters or something just sounded more stressful, to be honest. And so we ended up just deciding, like, you know what, they're doing really good downstairs with the big kids, and they ended up just putting another movie on. I got to watch 2 movies, which for them is like, doesn't happen very often. And so they just were downstairs in the basement watching a movie and having some treats. For the most part, I was relaxing my body, but in a way that encourages contraction. So I was leaning over on the dresser, and I was leaning on Nick and just being able to put that weight and let my body be a hammock, you know, for the baby, and put that weight down on my cervix. And I actually had my Bluetooth noise canceling headphones on, and I was listening to this really lovely classical music. And during contractions, I would, you kind of would keep them around my neck so I could talk to Nick or the midwife in between contractions, because they were about 5 minutes apart. And sometimes they were coming back to back at this point, picking up speed. But I would just listen to that music. I'd put them up on my ears and just relax and hang on Nick, let my body just be limp. And it was like so powerful, so powerfully relaxing for me. I would just kind of like imagine that I was moving with the music, like just, you know, to the rhythm of the music, and kind of swaying my hips and stuff. And it was really relaxing. And so I decided I want to get in the tub. And so I went ahead and got in the tub, and we called my daughter upstairs because she was finishing up dinner and everything with the little ones downstairs, but she really had wanted to be here for the birth. And so we called her upstairs, and so she came up, and she was kind of in the our bathroom with us. We have a big jacuzzi tub, and so she was able to be in there with us while I labored through some more difficult contractions in there. But I felt so relaxed in the water. I felt amazing that they really were manageable. Even still, there was a lot of pressure, but I was able to relax so much with them. but they were really manageable. And then I had a contraction that broke my water. My water broke while I was in the water, and the midwife checked that real quick, and then the next contraction, I was like, I feel like I have to push. Started to kind of bear down, and my daughter ran downstairs just to check on the boys to make sure that they were okay real quick, because she was like, Mom's gonna have the baby any minute now, and just to like make sure they knew that, and to kind of stay downstairs. And she came back up, and had just delivered Olivia. She was born, like the next contraction was her head, and the one after that was her body. It was just super quick, back-to-back contractions. And so she just got to see her as she was coming up. Nick was pulling her up out of the water, and she cried right away. She was kind of blue, but she cried right away and was snuggling in and rooting around. And we, were so excited. But I think the thing that I said was like, that's it, it's over, that's it. Because our other boys were bigger, and it didn't take that long to push them, but it didn't take 2 minutes. So I was just really surprised. I thought, she's gonna be huge. Like, I just thought our last baby was 9'14", the one before that was 10'3", and I thought, she's gonna be a really big baby. And I don't know, I just had this kind of fear surrounding, or dread, I guess, with like, worry that maybe she was too big. I mean, I had a really healthy pregnancy, but it was hard on my body, and I'm getting older. I mean, I'm 38, and this is our 9th baby, but she was 8 pounds, 8 ounces, and I felt that when I pushed her out. I could tell that she was, even though she's a big baby compared to most people, my smallest baby was 8 pounds pretty much. So it was just really easy. She just came right out, and so peacefully. Her name, Olivia, means peace, peaceful. And Haydee is actually the name. You spell it like, it looks like Haydee because it's Haydee, but you say Haydee because it's Greek, and it means modest and discreet. But the name is actually the name of in the story, The Count of Monte Cristo. My husband and I read that book together. We didn't read it like out loud together, but we listened to it on Audible and read it. I had a hard copy as well at this the same time, and so we were talking about it and just enjoyed that book together so much. Loved the story and loved the book, and so it kind of had that special meaning to us, because Haydee is a character in the book that the Count of Monte Cristo adopts, and it's kind of this redemption story because she's a princess, and she's the daughter of one of his enemies, and she becomes like the world to him. And she's this beautiful, modest woman, and she's not vain, and she's humble, but she's like this Greek goddess pretty much. And so we just always loved that name and thought that would be a really fun name to use, kind of an exotic name for the middle name. Is, yeah, she lives up to her name. She's very peaceful, sweet baby. She's just really chill, and she's a good little eater. She's a good sleeper. She slept actually like 5-hour stretches at night the first couple of days. Yeah, sometimes she's a night owl, so sometimes she's up kind of late, and we're still trying to get her nights and her days figured out. She came out with all this hair, which was really surprising to me. We only have, like, one of our sons, Logan, had this much dark hair when he was born. Now he's one of our most blonde kids, so we really don't know. She could be very blonde. It doesn't mean she's gonna be dark haired at all. Yeah, we're just so happy to have you here, sweetie. we're just so grateful to have her here, and we had prayed that the Lord would just grant us a peaceful and gentle birth with such a chaotic year. We were so busy leading up to her birth, and we actually ended up getting sick right before she was born. The whole family got sick, but we recovered, and I was feeling really good a couple of days before she was born, so really thankful for that. But just with the busyness of getting our house ready to put on the market and getting this home more settled, we were trying to redo our master bedroom. It wasn't anything major, but we were painting and just trying to get everything figured out for her to be born and not have any of that to do while she's just little and sleeping in here and stuff. And so it was just a really crazy season, and I'm just so thankful that the Lord answered our prayers in such a intimate way and blessed us with a quiet, easy birth. And she just came into the world so peaceful, and she's been such a gift ever since. Like, it's just been such a joy to have her, and has been a really sweet bonding time for our whole family, and we're just so grateful. So I just wanted to share her with you guys a little bit more. Sweet Olivia Haydee. And hopefully there'll be some more videos. I'd like to do a house tour, because everyone's been asking me for that, and also just share a little bit more about her, and maybe more if you guys are interested in some more about home birth. This was our 8th home birth. We've had 1 hospital birth, and we are so grateful to be able to have had our babies at home, and I would love to share more if that's something that you guys are interested in. I also was a natural childbirth coach for a little while years back, and so I have a lot of really good tips and tricks up my sleeve for getting through labor in a peaceful manner and a manageable manner. Maybe I could share some of those videos as well. We are so thankful to have Olivia here, and I'm thankful to be able to share her with you through this medium, and I hope that it's a blessing, and I hope you're encouraged, and I hope that you'll stick around, and I will see you in the next video, and I promise it will not be in 4 months from now. You guys take care and have a blessed day.